Hey guys, welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day video. Come along and join me as I take you through my day as I'm eating healthy, nutritious, gluten-free, and plant-based meals. So today was a little bit different for me because I actually had an event in the morning, and of course I started my day with matcha. I woke up pretty early, so I felt like I needed a matcha even though I was actually going to a matcha event. But I did my standard matcha latte, which is matcha powder sweetened with monk fruit extract with pumpkin pie spice, a tablespoon or so of coconut butter, as well as some cordyceps, and then I blend this up with hot water and pour it into a mug. The event that I was going to was actually in Soho, and it was with Dig In, which is a restaurant / chain that does like healthy bowls and salads, and also Matcha Bar, which is a matcha company. And they have this really cute window which you can order from on the street, perfect for when it's nice out. And they have really, really interesting matcha latte flavors. So I was excited to try some. I actually did get another matcha latte. So I ordered the rose one, and I was with a friend and she got the sea salt and maple. I had a taste of that. It was really good, and I'm definitely going to be recreating some of these for you. I'm thinking that I might actually even create a whole video based around fun things you can do with matcha. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. But I was hoping that they were going to have some food that I could eat that was gluten-free and dairy-free, but they actually didn't. So I only had a matcha, and by the time I got home, I was starving. So it ended up being like 11, and I didn't want to have a whole breakfast because I knew I was going to want lunch. So I just had a protein bar, and I wanted to walk you through my selection of protein bars that I have right now. My absolute two favorite brands in the whole world are this Raw Rev as well as these square bars. I am obsessed with square bars. I've talked about them in a bunch of different videos. So they have nuts and sea salt, which is amazing. They also have these crisp bars, which I really like, which are a little bit on the lighter side. They also have an almond spice flavor, which is really good, and their mint chocolate flavor is so awesome. I absolutely love it. I also wanted to show you these perfect bars, which are vegan, as well as these kind bars, which actually aren't vegan, but I don't really like either of those. So I actually decided, I've had them like for months. I decided to actually toss those. I think they're expired anyway. And I don't actually recommend those bars. I think they're not very good. So these two companies I really like. You can actually get 20% off from Square Bar if you use the coupon Simply Quinoa on their website. So I've left a link to their website in the description box below if you want to check that out. But I ended up doing the sea salt variety for my snack because it was so yummy, high in protein, absolutely love it, great ingredients, so delicious. For lunch, I decided to make my Mediterranean tostadas. These are a recipe that I shared like 2 weeks ago, and they are so good and so easy. For the tortillas, I am using Siete's almond flour tortillas. I really like the way these taste. They crisp up really well in the toaster oven, and they just have a kind of a mild flavor. They definitely fall apart, so that's something to be wary of, but you could also use corn tortillas or flour, depending on your preference. So while those are toasting, we can chop up all of our ingredients, and essentially we're just gonna be using a bunch of Mediterranean flavors. So we're using cucumber, and we're also gonna chop up some cherry tomatoes. We're gonna add in some shallot, and you could also use red onion if you don't like shallot, some parsley, which gives it a nice herbaceous, bright flavor, and then also some olives. This adds a really nice brininess, some saltiness, and I just personally love olives, so they're delicious. And then we're making a super quick dressing, which is just lemon juice, oil. I'm using avocado oil, but I also like this with extra virgin olive oil, some salt and some pepper, and you're just gonna stir that all together. Pour it over your salad ingredients and essentially just toss it all together until it's combined. And then once your tortillas are nice and toasty and crispy, you're gonna wanna top them with something. So I recommend using hummus. I just like the flavor combination here. But you could also use a cashew cheese type thing. You could use Kite Hill almond milk cream cheese. You could use guac. Really, you just wanna have something that is sticky for the topping so that it doesn't slide all over the place. So I'm doing a layer of hummus. It's a great way to get in some protein, of course, and I'm actually gonna be using some of this for dinner too, but that's okay. And we'll just top this with our Mediterranean salad, and it's as simple as that. You can also drizzle on some tahini if you want. I decided not to. I just didn't feel like it. I was too lazy, but I wanted to show you what they're like. They are tostadas, right? And they are so simple to make. They're really delicious. They are packed with healthy ingredients, tons of nutrients, and they're a great lunch option. So that full recipe is up on my blog. I will link it in the description box below for you as well, and I will also include that video that I shared last week. For my snack today, I had some crackers and queso. If you guys have not tried my kimchi queso yet, you are totally missing out. It is definitely one of my favorite recipes on my website. It's so delicious and creamy. It has such an awesome flavor. It's great for dipping. And I made a batch of this the other night. We have blown through it because we eat it so quickly, but I will link that recipe for you in the description box below, and I definitely recommend you guys try it. And then for dinner tonight, I opted for pizza. I was home alone and I felt like having pizza, so I made my summer zucchini and tomato quinoa pizza. I will link that for you in the description box below as well. So you want to soak quinoa for at least 2 hours, drain it, and then add it into a blender. And then we'll add in some hummus, some water, and some baking powder. And you'll blend that up in your blender until it forms a smooth, thick batter. It's going to be the consistency of a thick pancake batter. From there, we can add it onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. For this recipe, I actually recommend using a standard baking sheet because you can spread it a lot thinner than what I'm doing here. This didn't cook as well as I had hoped it would. So what I like to do is spread it as thin as possible in a large rectangle on a baking sheet. And then you're gonna pop it in the oven for about 15 minutes, pull it out, and then flip it over. And yes, I'm in my sports bra here because I had just worked out. And then you can pop it back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so and move on to your toppings. The toppings for this are just thinly sliced zucchini. I like to use a mandolin slicer here, but you could also just use a knife, as well as thinly sliced tomato. I find it's easiest to cut tomatoes with a serrated knife thanks to one of you lovely people who told me that tip. It has changed my life in terms of tomato chopping. And the base is actually gonna be a blend of that queso as well as some hummus. So once your pizza comes out of the oven, you can top it with that sauce. And again, this is just gonna help the ingredients stick to it. And then layer on your zucchini and your tomato and do kind of a thin layer. You wanna make sure that these are thinly sliced so that they cook while they're in the oven. So layer on your vegetables and then top with some vegan cheese or regular cheese if you eat dairy. Pop it back in your oven for about 10 minutes until the cheese is melted and the veggies have cooked through, and then you're good to go. And I decided to serve this pizza with a small romaine salad on the side. It was basically just a head of romaine with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, salt, and pepper. Super simple and just a good way to bulk up the meal. So I personally find that this recipe serves 2 people. I had 3 slices of pizza. I was not mad about it, and it was so delicious. So I hope you guys try this recipe. And that pretty much covers my day. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am really excited to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or comments. I would love to hear from you. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you can tap that red button that's right below this video. There's also a button on this screen for you to tap. I've also included a link to my other What I Eat in a Day videos, so if you want to watch some of those, there is a button here that you can watch those as well. And otherwise, I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys!